What's up everyone, I'm Nikhil from Greedy Tech and this is a camera review of the Infinix Hot S3. On the rear, this phone comes with a single 13 megapixel camera with f2.0 aperture with a dual LED flash. On the front, it comes with a single 20 megapixel camera with f2.0 aperture, 82 degrees of field of view with Sony IMX376 sensor and dual LED flash. Now let's look at the camera interface. So guys, this is a camera interface. It looks just like the iPhone and the Oppo and Vivo phones. We can swipe left or right to change between different modes, to record video, beauty mode and so on. On the top left corner we have the option for HDR mode. There is no auto HDR. We can simply turn it on or off. Beside that we have the toggle for flash. Fortunately we have auto flash for the rear camera. Next we have this toggle to change the aspect ratio of picture. You might think you are getting a full screen viewfinder. Well, that's true, but the pictures you take come out in either 16:9 aspect ratio or 18:9 aspect ratio. So I'll suggest you to stick with the normal aspect ratio. That's the standard one, 4:3 ratio. Next we have this toggle over here for filters. So we can apply filters over here. Finally we have the icon for settings. Over here we have the option to add watermark, delay capture, touch to capture, grid lines and so on. If we go to advanced, from here we can change the picture size, photo scale and even disable shutter sound, just in case if you find it annoying. Now if you go to the video mode, in the settings panel, we can change the video resolution. By default it is set to HD resolution, but from here we can change to Full HD. Now going on back, we can click this button over here to change to the front facing camera, and over here we have the video mode, that's for recording video using the front facing camera. Next if you swipe to the left side, this is the auto mode, and if you swipe left once again, you'll go to the beauty mode where you have the option to take a blurred picture. So if you want to take that portrait selfies or blur effect, this toggle at the bottom right corner of the screen. Now it also has beauty mode and you can change the beauty level by using this toggle. You can change the level from here. When you're using the front facing camera, you have the toggle for flash over here, and now it is disabled. Now if when you take a picture, you don't get a flash. Next if you click on it once again, now the flash will be always on like a torch. Let me take a picture. Next if you click it once again, it will use the flash like a regular flash. So that is how it works. Unfortunately for the front facing camera we don't have auto flash, and that's a huge letdown. We can change the intensity of the flash from settings over here. Just go to settings, advanced, select this option. From here we can adjust the flash intensity to low, high or medium. So that's the camera interface. Now let's look at some sample pictures. This phone doesn't have auto HDR, so these are some sample shots taken with HDR turned off. Color reproduction is good, dynamic range is good. All these pictures were taken in the evening and the images are warm. Everything under the sun looks overexposed and sometimes images look faded. Colors are overexposed. Under the shade, color reproduction is good. On the whole, rear cameras do a good job in good lighting conditions. These are some macro shots. It has no issues with focusing, but it is not the fastest one when it comes to focusing, especially when we compare it with Redmi Y1. You get good blur effect and exposure control looks good. These are some images taken with the HDR turned on. Regular images are followed by HDR images. With HDR on, images look brighter and too many parts are overexposed. Sharpness is good. HDR mode works, but images look artificial. Now these are some regular selfies. This phone even offers us HDR mode for the front facing camera. So all these selfies are taken with HDR turned off. Exposure control is good, color reproduction, sharpness and capturing speeds are good. For selfies, this phone does a great job. Now let's look at the selfies taken with HDR turned on. Regular images are followed by the HDR images. Regular selfies look better. HDR selfies look pretty bad, but it might come in handy in some situation. Like this one. These are some more selfies taken in indoor lighting conditions. Selfies still look good, with decent sharpness and good color reproduction. Now these are some selfies taken in very low light conditions. Most of them were taken with a flash. This phone doesn't offer auto flash for the front facing camera, so we have to manually turn on the flash every time we need it. Some selfies look overexposed and sometimes too dark. Dual LED flash is a good marketing thing, but doesn't do anything awesome. So on the whole, even in low lighting conditions, the front facing camera does a pretty decent job. Now let's look at the portrait shots. Selfies look good. Edge detection is not very accurate, but pretty good unless you zoom in. You get the blur effect for the background, but the intensity is less, and there is no way to change it. So for portrait selfies, this phone does an average job. Now let's look at the low light performance. These are some pictures taken in low light indoor conditions. Color reproduction is good and images are decently sharp. You need stable hands to take sharp images. Now these are some pictures taken in very low light conditions. Images are very soft, but color balance is good. Sharpness is pretty bad. Pictures taken with flash look overexposed, but still don't look sharp. So in low light, it does an average job. Now coming to video recording, we can record video in 1080p on this phone using the front and rear cameras. This is the footage taken using the rear camera in well-lit conditions. There is no optical image stabilization or electronic image stabilization, so the footage is shaky. But the color reproduction is good. It frequently does the focus hunting, so sometimes the footage looks annoying. Now this is the footage taken in indoor lighting conditions. It still does focus hunting while you move around, color reproduction is good, and the footage looks bright. On the whole, it's pretty decent. Now coming to the front camera video recording, once again there is no optical image stabilization or electronic image stabilization, but you get a wide angle footage. Color reproduction is good and it has good exposure control. Now this is the footage from the front camera in indoor lighting conditions. Footage is overexposed to make it look bright, colors look slightly faded, but still look pretty good. So guys, to conclude, rear cameras on this phone are good. They do a decent job, and front facing camera is really good. It does take some pretty good selfies, but in low lighting conditions, you might have a hard time using the flash. So on the whole, for a starting price of 9,000 rupees, cameras on this phone are pretty good. Especially the front facing camera and all the other features this phone has to offer. So guys, looking at the sample pictures and sample footage, what do you think about the cameras on this phone? Do let me know by commenting below this video. If you are planning to buy this phone, use the link in the description, it really helps the channel. If you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with the hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and we will try to make it as soon as possible. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel to see more cool videos on tech. I'm Nikhil from Greedy Tech signing off. Have a nice day.